Hi, I am Dr.K.Rani, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Dr. SNS Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. Today my topic name is Indirect Tax. What is indirect tax? The tax imposed on the use of product and service is known as an indirect tax. It is not imposed directly on an individual income, rather in addition to the cost of the product or service the seller purchased, they must also pay the tax. A single party in the supply chain, like a manufacturer or retail, collect to pay the government an indirect tax. Examples of indirect tax: excise duty, custom duty, entertainment tax, service tax, sales tax, gross receipt tax, value added tax are example of indirect tax. An example of GST explanation. Let's saw you eat at a restaurant. You could see your entry payment plus GST on bill. Indirect tax. The GST rate 5%. So let saw the total was 2500. Then you will be required to pay 2625. 2500 plus 125. The service provided falls on the indirect tax. Do you in the amount of 1000 to 25. Overview of indirect tax in India. There are many indirect tax applied by the government of India. Tax are levied on manufacture, sales, importance and even purchase of goods and service. These law are not also well defined act from the government. Rather order, circular and notification are given out by relevant government bodies to this end. As such, it can some trying to understand every feature of indirect tax in India. Objectives of indirect tax. Here are the key objectives of indirect tax liabilities. The service provider or seller pay indirect tax to the government and the liability is transferred to the consumer. Payment of tax. The seller pay indirect tax to the government and the same is transferred to the consumer. Nature. Indirect tax were initially regressive in nature, but thanks to the implementation of the goods and service tax, they are now pretty progressive. Saving and indirect. Indirect tax are generally growth oriented, considering the fact that they encourage consumer to save and invest. Evasion. It is difficult to evade indirect tax because they are now implemented directly through product and service. Features of indirect tax. Indirect tax do not burden the taxpayer and are convenient as they are paid only at the time of making purchase. Moreover, status authorities find it convenient to levy indirect tax because they are collected direct at the store. Indirect tax are easily to collect in comparison with direct tax, since indirect tax are only collected at the time of making purchase. The authorities need not worry about their collection. Those who earn less than 2.5 lakh per annum are exempted from income tax, which means that they do not contribute to the government. Since indirect tax are charged at the point of sales, all individuals, regardless of income tax slab under which they fall, The indirect tax are directly related to the cost of product and service. What this essential means that the base necessity attack lower rate of tax while luxury items are charged at higher tax rate, thereby ensure that contribution are equitable. The highest indirect tax are placed on goods that are bad for our health like alcohol, tobacco and other similar products. Thus they are more expensive, which help curb spending and consumption of such harmful commodities. Thank you.